Hello, everybody. I'm Jeff Kritzer at the University of Nebraska-Kearney, and it's quite an honor to be back with you again as one of your keynote speakers. You know, I really wish that I could be here with everybody. I've been able to attend the last couple of these sessions, but unfortunately, I'm teaching at this time, and this is why I'm doing my keynote for you as a video. And I want to have a shout out now to my good friend and colleague, Maliwan, as well as my good friend and colleague, Padung, and Suimon, and everybody else, all my friends here at this conference. I wish I could be here with you and enjoying not only the learning, but all of the good food at this conference. And today, I'm going to talk to you about some of the tools that I use for differentiating instruction. One of the first things I'd like you to understand is that you can no longer teach a general education classroom only using one grade level worth of materials. For example, in a third grade classroom, you wouldn't only use third grade materials. You have some students that are below grade level, and you have some students that are above grade level. So just using grade level material doesn't work. I'd like you to understand that. In the average fifth grade classroom, there's a 10-year range in ability levels in reading, in math, in content areas. So again, if we only use grade level materials, we're going to lose some students. And one of the things that we try to do is eliminate referrals to special education by using differentiated instruction. And now I'm going to show you some websites that you can use to implement differentiated instruction in your classrooms. So what we need to be able to do is find materials appropriate for various grade levels in order to meet the needs of our students. And one of the sites that you can find a lot of good materials for a number of content areas is called IXL.com. And this is the site right here. Now, IXL.com has exercises for math, language arts, which includes English reading, science, and social studies. For example, let's take a look at a second grade math. And you will note all of these standards related to second grade math. And if you were to click on something, for example, if you were to click on this standard, this would be working on subtraction sentences. So these, this has all the different exercises to go along with second grade math. Here's one for some one-digit subtraction. Two-digit subtraction. So there's, like I say, different levels for all the content areas. If you take a look at fourth grade language arts, for example, you will see all these different exercises, parts of speech, as well as various other things related to fourth grade language arts, and obviously exercises related to each standard. And this site is free. So you can arrange for your students to be able to do exercises based on their needs on this site. And as I mentioned, it has content all the way from the pre-K level all the way through 12th grade. You can even get into pre-calculus and calculus if you choose to. So, and this site is free. This site is free. And this is one site that you can use to differentiate instruction and find materials for your students. Another website which you can find materials for all grade levels is called the Smart Exchange. The Smart Exchange comes from exercises that are used to go along with smart boards in classrooms, but you don't need a smart board to access these exercises. If you take a look, we have all the various different subject matters available on the Smart Exchange, and also by grade levels. If you take a look at, for example, let's click on grade 3, and you will see a search engine for all the various subjects in grade 3. For example, let's say that you wanted to teach your children English as a second language. You could click on that, and there will be exercises available for ESL at the 3rd grade level. And there's also standards for each subject, grade level standards by each grade level, like the ones that we use in this country, and very applicable to your Thai students as well. The Smart Exchange has a number of really good exercises available in all areas, and many of them are like game type activities to teach content. For another example, if we take a look at English language arts, and then we can go through, let's say we wanted to look at 1st grade English language arts. You will notice a number of exercises having to do with 1st grade English language arts. And again, this is called the Smart Exchange, and the website is exchange.smarttech.com. Another website that I'd like to recommend for differentiated instruction is called Quizlet. And what I like about Quizlet is that it does 2 possible things. One, you can create your own content quizzes on Quizlet. And 2, there are many already created quizzes on Quizlet. Now, one of the things that I especially like you to know is that you don't need to be locked into English to use Quizlet. For example, let's say I wanted to see what they have available in terms of Thai on Quizlet. I can just type in Thai, and you will notice, all these exercises for Thai. If I click on one of them, this is one that's already been made, and you'll notice you can create games based on this content. Like, for example, let's say I went to scatter. Now I want everything to disappear in scatter by going from one thing to another to make things disappear. And so there's vocabulary available, and you can also have pictures. So what you can do on this Quizlet is not only create content learning exercises, but games to go along with them. And take a look at all the various, let's say we wanted to do one on world history. Take a look at all of the quizzes available on world history. And there's so much in every content area. Okay? So this is what's called Quizlet. And again, you can use our already made sets, or you could also create your own. And also, again, when you create, it can be anything from simple matching to game type activities. For example, another example I'd like to show you on Quizlet, let's say that you wanted to have some math exercises. If you check math and you click on one of these here, you notice that you can use flashcards. Like, here's how the flashcards would work. So when you flip it, you can see answer, question, just like that. And you can create your own flashcards in Quizlet. So Quizlet is a good tool for differentiating instruction. This last website that I want to show you is called the What Works Clearinghouse. One of the things I like to stress regarding meeting the needs of students with or without disabilities is that we don't need to label a child with a disability in order to help them. And in my country, we really allocate money for early intervention to reduce the necessary labeling of children. So when I talk about Tier 1 activities, and I'm mentioning differentiated instruction, we also need to talk about Tier 2, because while good Tier 1 schools eliminate about 80% of all referrals, good 2-tier interventions will eliminate another 15%. We really can reduce the number of referrals. Look at this website, What Works Clearinghouse, and let's go to Find What Works. Now, here you see a search engine for various interventions. Let's say we want to take a look at interventions in the area of math. So I click on math, and I'm going to look at interventions in mathematics, but I only want to look at ones that work really well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check only positive or potentially positive results. And then I'm going to click only the ones that have positive effects, positive results. And you will notice when I do that, I found that there are 3 interventions that have positive results in math. And how do I know that these are positive? Because what I notice here are 2 pluses. And these 2 pluses mean that that students can progress 2 standard deviations using these interventions. For example, if you take a look at this one on algebra for middle school, I clicked on the program, and then I can download a full report on that program and how it works. Let me show you something else. Let's go back to resetting our search, and let's take a look at literacy. And I click on the literacy thing, and I'm going to look at reading comprehension interventions. Reading comprehension interventions. So I click on reading comprehension, and now I only want to have, remember, positive results. So I click on that and click on the one with the positive effects. There's one. There's one that has positive effects. Somehow I ended up clicking on the potential one, but let me go back to this one. And you notice the 2 pluses for something called Sound Partners, and I click on that, and there's a full description of how that program works. If you're going to spend money on something, you don't want to spend money on anything that doesn't have 2 pluses. And again, there are all